Episode 129 of the State of the Old Republic podcast was originally recorded on November 17th, 2024. It's the State of the Old Republic podcast. This week on the show, Broadsword held a live stream where they gave us a deluge of information on Game Update 7.6. I'll tell you what's up with the story, dynamic encounters, the Lair Boss, new augments, special mounts, and so much more. Art modernizations have been limited to environments, but now they're coming to characters. I'll tell you all about how they're changing. Game Update 7.6 is coming in early December, but you can play most of it right now on the PTS, and you can earn some cool rewards by doing it. And with that, it's time to make the jump to Lightspeed.
And cue the moron.
Welcome to episode 129 of the State of the Old Republic podcast. I'm your host, Ted, and as you heard in the opening, I have a great show lined up for you today. The folks at Broadsword have been saying that Game Update 7.6 is jam-packed, and boy, were they not kidding. We knew about the story, dynamic encounters, and the Lair Boss, which was already a lot, but after the 7.6 livestream, we now know it's a lot. I want to start with the story update and a little bit of unfortunate news, which is the Galactic Thread story will not ship with Game Update 7.6. Here are Ashley Rule and Caitlin Sullivan-Kelly explaining it on the live stream.
There is a caveat. So, while this production is very well underway, we currently do not have all the elements we need to complete this story and to deliver it to you. So with that in mind, we are delaying the Galactic Thread storyline, just the storyline, until we can complete the story to the art quality standards and what you're expecting when you play the story. So the moment we have everything we need to finish this story, we will get it in your hands.
Now, it wasn't mentioned on the live stream, but for those who don't know, there is a voice actor strike going on right now. And it's a good bet that's the reason for the delay. They don't have all the dialogue needed for the story. Whatever the reason for the delay, I don't mind. I want something that is polished and good. I want to be immersed in the story and not breaking the fourth wall because something is incomplete. And the reality is, we are always waiting for something. As soon as this story drops, we'll be asking about and waiting for the next chapter, so I'd rather have it be good and take longer. And by all accounts, Galactic Threads looks to be good.
You're sure it was them?
Entirely. This particular hidden chain strike team had been harassing a nearby settlement for some time. The residents were very eager to tell Theron everything they saw.
Then we need to move before they can... Shay's flagship.
It must be the Arbiter. He took command of it after Shay disappeared.
Stay alert. This could go either way.
Apologies for showing up like this.
This isn't the way to do things, Jakara. Not after everything you let happen.
I know that. Under less dire circumstances, I would have taken that into consideration. As a show of our support and our commitment to this partnership, we're here to help put an end to all of this, however we can.
By the way, because this is radio, I shortened that clip and cut out some stuff between when the Jedi speaks and then Jakaya first speaks. I mention that because that space in between does create a vibe of tension, and it's good. I also couldn't help but notice the Jedi Knight is not happy. He's got some real emotion in his voice, more than I'm used to hearing with that character, and I really like it. This chapter of the story is titled Galactic Threads, and it's more than just a title. It also represents the nature of the story and how we will experience it. Here are Ashley and Caitlin again explaining it.
So, there are a lot of things coming into Galactic Threads that we can explore, the storylines that we can explore. So, we've actually made a new mission style, I guess, for this story. This storyline has multiple threads that you can explore in different orders, and a lot of companions along the way. So there are a lot of relationships you can affect and stories you can tell.
Let's unpack what that might mean. And the way I interpret it is this. We'll probably get an introductory mission, which is what we saw in the teaser clip. From there, we may get some alliance alerts or multiple missions to explore the different threads of the story. And these missions will involve different characters and companions. And we'll have the flexibility to choose where we want to start and where we want to go next. And hopefully by the end of each one, things will come together in a meaningful way. I don't get the sense that this is the end of any given story, but I'm hoping it will funnel down into a single thread that will lead to an epic finale in 7.7. We will be working with a lot of different characters in this chapter. You heard Jakaya in the teaser. He'll be joined by his brother Ras, who we teamed up with in the Spirit of Vengeance. Jedi Knight Arn Peralin will return. He'll be helping us learn more about Darth Null. I've always been on the fence about Arn. I didn't like him that much when we met him as a Padawan, but he's starting to grow on me a little bit, and I like that he continues to develop as a character. In fact, that's something I've always liked about this game in particular, and that's they create characters and then they continue to develop and grow them over time. And Arn is becoming one of those characters like Theron Shan and Lana Beniko, who continue to join us on our adventures. Another one of those characters who they continue to develop and grow, and one who I like a lot, is Major Henri, and she will also be joining us in Galactic Threads. Once again, here are Caitlin and Ashley.
Major Henri is coming back. Since we saw her on Manon, she has had a bit of a promotion. She is an attaché to Darth Krovos and kind of working as another liaison between the Players Alliance and the Sith Empire hierarchy. She comes and joins us on a mission, not to really keep an eye on us, but to offer a helping hand, offer some input of things that are happening within the Empire, and ways that the player's relationship with the Empire is kind of changing and evolving. She'll be there to kind of give those hints.
And she always brings her own snark.
I love Major Henri. If it weren't for the fact that I romance Lana Beniko on almost every character I have, I would absolutely pursue that relationship with her. She's fun. I'd love to go on an adventure with her and Major Pierce sometime. And speaking of Lana Beniko, of course she's joining us, and she might be getting up from behind her desk and going out into the field.
For most of the update, Lana's going to be acting as kind of holding down the base of operations for us, giving us intel for the leads that we're going to be looking into. But there is something that happens that makes her say that she has to get out there into the field out of the kind of administrative capacity that she sometimes holds. And if it's something bad enough that Lana needs to get her lightsaber out and go into the field, it's probably pretty bad. So she'll be joining us for that particular mission.
Yeah, it's always great to see Lana come back into the field and
show off her
work with
Sith
us.
skills.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm excited about this. We don't get to adventure with her nearly enough these days. I miss those moments when she says stuff like this.
Ready to commandeer, Commander?
I also miss working with Lana and Theron, but that's a topic for another day. And the character I'm most excited about is Talos Drellick. Here's what Caitlin and Ashley had to say about him.
So we're going to be doing a little bit more archaeology in this update. Last we saw Talos Drellick was during Digging Deeper. He was present at the ruins of Darth Null's temple on Elam during the dig there. They were trying to get deeper into the temple after Malgus kind of brought everything down. And in this update, we learned that he and his team had a little bit of luck. They've breached part of the ruins, and we're going to go look into that a little bit with Talos' help.
I love Talos Drellick. Anytime we get to work with him, I'm a happy guy. I know we've been getting these date nights, but I just want a buddy night with Talos. I'd imagine we'd go to his home where he'd have a giant study stuffed with artifacts he's collected. Things would be randomly hanging on the walls and on the floor around the room. I'm talking too many to count. No white space on the walls whatsoever. We'd be knocking back some Corellian brandy, and I'd point to something and go, "Hey, where's that Onderanian sarcophagus come from?" And he'd turn to me and say, "My lord," I think he calls everybody that, "My lord, as my mentor Oselius Gahn once told me, the answer to your question lies embedded within the query itself." We'd have a chuckle, and then he'd proceed to tell me everything about it. And this is how the whole evening would go.
It's always a good day when Talos shows up.
Yes, it is, Ashley. Yes, it is. One more character we'll be working with is Akavi Spar. She'll help us track down the hidden chain. So Galactic Threads looks to be a fun galaxy-hopping adventure. The story will take us to Hoth, Tatooine, and Ilum. On Ilum, we will investigate the crash site of the Emperor's Fortress from the false Emperor Flashpoint, which we will locate by taking out an ancient Sith dagger, holding it up. I'm joking. Seriously though, if that's how we find the crash site, I am out. Just to be clear, Emperor's Fortress crash site is true, Sith dagger, false. It's unfortunate that Galactic Threads isn't making it into the release. It's taking us to planets like Tatooine and Hoth, where the dynamic encounters are, and it's taking us to Ilum, where we have the Lair Boss. It was designed to direct us to other features, which there are plenty. That's the good news in all of this. There is plenty of other stuff to enjoy while we wait for the story. It's your typical day on Tatooine. Commander Marcus needs you to retrieve vital data from a crashed ship, assuming it's still there.
The black box isn't at the crash site, then the blasted sand people have taken it. Good luck.
The Imperial Reclamation Service has asked you to find some prison laborers kidnapped by a small army of Jedi. And some pesky Jawas have stolen power cores vital for Imperial operations. All standard work to be found on this backwater planet. You brave the desert suns battling sand people, Jawas, and Jedi, all for the glory of the Empire and your bank account. As the day winds down, you speed towards the nearest cantina to count your credits as you revel in the praises from the Imperials exiled to this barren wasteland.
The Imperial Reclamation Service will hear all about your work defeating the 24 Jedi who viciously ambushed us.
As you approach the outskirts of Mos Illa, a call goes out.
Over here! Help us take out this spice stash! The exchange is going too far!
You go to investigate and suddenly find yourself embroiled in a skirmish with exchange forces. You defeat their gang members, destroy their spice, and continue on towards that cantina. You travel a few kilometers and another call goes out. Sand people have stolen some important artifacts and they need to be recovered. As you continue to traverse the desert, you see there's even more happening. A militant Jawa is causing trouble for locals. Grimorians are near the ancient Sarlacc, fooling around with weaponry that could be of interest.
Exceptional results. They'll think again before stealing.
You lend a hand to all of these, and when the smoke clears, you decide to skip the cantina and instead make a beeline to the spaceport to get off this forsaken rock. As you enter the spaceport, there is yet another cry for help.
The Exchange is trying to smuggle Imperial weaponry off-world. We must put a stop to this.
This time there are no forces to battle. You pull out your trusty macro binoculars and begin identifying exchange contraband. Once identified, you mark the crates for the Imperials to recover.
Good work. The Exchange will pay.
And finally prepare to blast off into space. And that, everyone, is Dynamic Encounters, a new type of mission that will be available on Tatooine and Hoth. These missions are found out in the wild, there are no mission givers or terminals, and there is nothing to turn in. So, how does this all work? Well, it's pretty simple. You can see all the encounters that are available on your galaxy map. It will show you the encounter, where it's happening, and how much time is left before it ends. All you need to do is go to the planet, head out to the location of the encounter, and the mission will be granted to you automatically. You complete the objectives, the mission completes, you collect the rewards, and then you move on to the next one, or not. It's entirely up to you. Each encounter has a set duration. I think they are all around 30 minutes once they start. At the end of that 30 minutes, the encounter goes away, and new ones will start to pop up around the planet. I've had a chance to try them on the PTS. They're fun, and there are a lot of them. Some are faction specific, and some are shared between both factions. There is a lot of variety in the missions. Most are combat oriented. There's the usual kill 10 of these and collect 10 of those. Some are show up and kill one NPC, pew pew pew, and move on. Some are lighthearted, like one to round up a bunch of baby banthas running around the Republic spaceport on Tatooine. Some involve you taking scientific readings from volcanoes on Hoth, and some involve using macro binoculars and seeker droids. Most of these are short. They are not long multi-stage missions like you find on Kessen's Landing. All of them can be done solo. You do not need to group. Most encounters have objectives that are individual. For example, on Tatooine, some sand people have stolen some artifacts. You must kill a bunch of sand people and recover the artifacts. If you and I are both working on the encounter, we are competing for both NPCs and items. Like most missions in the game. There are other encounters where players are all working together, even if they're not grouped. In these encounters, if the objective is to kill 10 sand people, and I kill 5 and you kill 5, we both win. Because collectively, we've killed 10 and completed the objective of the encounter. In fact, you could just stand around and let me do all of the work and get credit. You could also get lucky and arrive just as the 10th NPC is slain, again, getting something for nothing. For the first time in the game, we have objectives that are percentage-based. Instead of killing a specific number of NPCs, we just kill things until we hit 100%. I've seen as many as 10 or more encounters up at a given time. They usually spawn in groups, and once they expire, a new set immediately pops up. One thing to note is that once time runs out on an encounter, it despawns immediately. Doesn't matter if you're in the middle of it. If you haven't completed it, you're out of luck. In fact, I had this happen on the PTS. I was doing an encounter where the objective was to kill one giant wampa. I had him down to 10% and time ran out, and poof, he just disappeared. And then poof, the encounter magically reappeared with a fresh 30-minute timer. So it looks like encounters don't spawn in a set pattern, so some might appear back to back, so to speak. Now, once you complete an encounter, you're done. However, if it respawns again, you are able to complete it again, meaning it looks like you can do the same encounter multiple times a day on the same character. Since all of this is on the PTS, I don't know how much of this is in place for testing versus what's planned for live. I like the encounters, but being able to do them indefinitely, so to speak, may not be a good thing, as it could lead to burnout. Maybe limiting them to once a day per character might be better. Now, in the beginning, the only incentive we'll need to go out and do these is that they're new, but it doesn't take long for new to become old. So what kinds of rewards can you get? Well, here's what Eric Musco had to say on the live stream.
And so the question that, of course, will come to your mind is, well, why am I doing these dynamic encounters? I obviously want to earn some rewards. So dynamic encounters will fit into a lot of the existing game systems. So you'll earn, for every dynamic encounter you complete, you'll earn both tech fragments and conquest commendations. This will fit into some of the gearing changes, specifically augments, that Bryant will be talking about in a second. The hidden chain encounters specifically will drop armor pieces, notably hidden chain armor pieces, which we'll show you in a second. And there's also like rare drops, such as a special Lothcat. There's also some mounts. So this is where I'm talking about that they fit into the other game systems. So there's going to be a whole host of achievements for you to earn. And a good example here being is that the Desert Sand Mount and the Frozen Peaks Mount are actually the rewards that you would earn for completing the Tatooine and Hoth meta achievements, respectively, for dynamic encounters. So if you complete those metas, you would then receive these mounts for completing them. So those are the new meta rewards for those. So again, kind of fits into the whole, all throughout game systems throughout the game as well.
One thing I noticed on the PTS that Eric did not mention is that there are conquest objectives associated with the encounters. If you run conquest, this will be another good source of points each week. Overall, though, I have to say the rewards seem to be somewhat lackluster. The mounts are cool. They're standing load lifter mounts. I like those a lot, and they incorporate new technology. If you have a mini pet out, it will ride on the mount with you. I'll talk about that later. And you can never have enough Lothcat kitten pets. Jackie, if you're listening, we need a purple one next. But most of the encounters don't reward anything special, at least from what I've seen on the PTS. It's mainly tech fragments and conquest commendations. I wish there was more variety in endgame currency rewards. I'd like to see more avenues for the solo player to acquire better gear. It'd be neat if some encounters rewarded FP stabilizers or OP catalysts or even a Kalumi crate. If there aren't better rewards, I fear that by the time we get to February, these dynamic encounters will start to feel static. That said, I think dynamic encounters are a great addition to the game, and the number and variety of them do make it fun. And it's clearly something that they can and likely will bring to other planets in the future. One other thing to note, I've seen some comments wishing that they were a little more mysterious or something that you need to discover. That's not what these are. Everything that's available is known. In fact, you don't even need to be on Tatooine or Hoth to see which encounters are up. They're not meant to be hidden, and they're not meant to be significant events in the history of the galaxy. This is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of stuff. You're web-slinging around the city, and oh look, there's a thug trying to steal a purse from an old lady. I'll go handle this. You swing a few more blocks and you find a cat stuck in a tree, or you pop into Central Park and play fetch with a dog. This is not the Green Goblin planning to poison the city's water supply, trying to turn the citizens of New York into an army of fellow goblins. You are a friendly neighborhood Sith answering the call wherever you spot trouble. Sometimes it's the Republic attacking an Imperial base, sometimes it's feeding a hungry Sarlacc, and sometimes it's helping a baby Tauntaun who just wants to go sledding. Those are actual encounters, by the way. Speaking of a friendly neighborhood Sith answering the call, there is a new interactive UI feature coming in 7.6 called the Comlink. And this is one of several tech features Broadsword is introducing in 7.6. The others are a new type of decoration and a new type of mount. I'll get to those in a minute. Essentially, the Comlink is a new tool to deliver conversational content without the need to voice it. And the two examples they gave on the live stream were terminals and character conversations. How this will work in game is you'll click on a terminal and then the Comlink UI will pop up and you'll start a text message type of conversation. Functionally, it will work similar to the standard mission and KOTOR style presentations. You will be given choices and some might even grant dark or light side points, and it can be used for currency turn-ins. As Eric explained on the live stream, this is not a replacement for anything.
One thing I do want to point out, I put on a bullet here, but I will make it very crystal clear. In no way is this meant to replace cinematics or voice content in any way. We're looking at this as a value add. This gives us a new way for us to offer more narrative context or content in ways that we may not be able to previously, right? Because we go, oh man, we have this mission or we have this, secondary side quest or something, and we want to try to do is be able to add more context or add more flavor to it. This would be a way that we could offer another conversation path or add another terminal that you can interact with. We can add additional, information there.
Again, it's a new addition to the conversation toolkit that we'll start to see in game update 7.6. And by the way, if Galt contacts me on the Comlink about one of his crazy schemes, I seriously hope I have the option to reply, "New Comlink, who dis?" Now, one of the places we'll see the Comlink in action is with the Remote Trading Outpost Decoration Bundle. The Remote Trading Outpost Bundle is inspired by Galaxy's Edge and looks amazing. Here is what Fred Newman, the art producer, and Brad Lewis, the art director for the game, had to say about it on the live stream.
First thing we're going to talk about is the Remote Trading Outpost Bundle. This one is a massive selection of decos that are inspired by Galaxy's Edge. And
it's a brand new kind of decoration bundle. So we're trying something new. It's a little terrifying, but very excited about it. This is going to be a bundle that has not one, but two full sets of decorations. So a veritable hut load of decorations for you to get, and 2 mini pits to walk away from.
That's right.
And right in the middle of that, some lightweight gameplay. So,
That's right. This is the first deco bundle we've ever released that has embedded gameplay and quests in that come along with it. So we're excited to see how people react to that.
This bundle is massive. When they said it was a hut load of decorations, they weren't kidding. I think all told, you'll end up with approximately 167 decorations. They're not all individual. You'll get 4 of this and 8 of that, but that's still a lot. And you'll get 2 mini pets out of it. One of the decorations is a cantina, an actual building. It will go on a starship and centerpiece hook, and we're getting a new layout to accommodate this. The way the bundle works is this. The initial set of decorations will be neglected items, meaning they're kind of beat up and junky. But there will be a series of missions, presumably started from inside the neglected cantina, where you can get the cleaned up or restored versions of everything. And as I said, those missions will use the new Comlink feature. You will get to keep both the neglected and restored versions of the decorations, so you don't lose anything. Additionally, you can earn the Baby Dianoga and Disco DJ Droid mini pets as part of this. The droid is a gonk that has flashing lights and plays music. This sounds pretty awesome, and it sounds pretty expensive. That's because the Remote Trading Outpost bundle will be sold through the cartel market. They did not say how much the bundle would cost. I would not be surprised if this is the most expensive item they've ever put up on the market. In a perfect galaxy, this would have been made available to everyone through some form of gameplay, perhaps a very rare reward from a dynamic encounter. Short of that, I would have liked it as a subscriber reward. And I mention that because we are getting a subscriber reward, which is also very cool. And here is Eric Musco talking about it in the live stream.
That's right. Imagine if you were cruising around the galaxy and you said, you know what I would love to do? I'd like to have my companion and my mini pet cruising with me on a mount. That's right. So, as you can see, this is some new tech on a mount that we built here, which is basically companion and mini pet mounts are coming to SWTOR.
So it's a mount where your companion and mini pets ride along. It should be noted that it won't work with all companions. I'm looking at you, 4X. By the way, the Desert Sand and Frozen Peaks lift mounts, which you can get from the Dynamic Encounter achievements, are also mini pet mounts. As far as what you need to get it, Eric and Keith provided all the details on the live stream.
Basically what we talked about was we could sell this to you, but reality is this, right? We want you to play the game. We want you to have fun with it. So we're going to give it to you for everybody that is a subscriber starting on the 29th of November all the way through January 4th, anytime in there, as long as you are active on the day that 7.6 launches.
Yep.
So as long as you're a subscriber on that day and you subscribe anywhere between the 29th and the 4th, or you're an active subscriber already, right? You already have the 6-month...
right, if you have like Master of the Fight bundle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right. Then that works, and we will give this to you.
Yep.
Keith mentioned that they could have sold it to us, and part of me wished that they would have made the new trading outpost the new sub-reward and put the Mirm Cicada mount on the cartel market. I don't like mission content being locked to the store. A lot of cool tech coming in 7.6, Comlink UI, and new types of decorations and mounts. Can't wait for this. Another place where we'll experience the new Comlink interface is the starting mission to take on the Propagator Core XR53 Lair Boss. This is an 8-man operation boss that will have both story and veteran modes. There's been no mention of master mode. The X-53 is a Rakatan replicator droid that was on the Emperor's Fortress that crashed on Ilum as part of the events of the False Emperor storyline. Now, there are lots of reasons to want to go and defeat this boss: personal glory, eliminating a threat to the galaxy, and a new set of augments. The augments themselves won't drop from the boss. You'll get schematics and some materials needed to make the augments. I'm not going to get into all of the details, but there is a post on the forums which has everything you need to know about the augments. So I'm just going to give you the highlights today. And here are the basics. There are 3 tiers of new augments: Augment 83, 86, and Advanced 86. Augment 83s are the easiest to make and are almost as good as the current best augments in the game. 86s and Advanced 86s are superior to the current best augments in the game. The schematics for the 83s drop from Story Mode, and the schematics for the 86s drop from Veteran Mode, and all are tradable. The Advanced 86 schematics are learned by deconstructing a corresponding Augment 86. For example, you can learn the Advanced Critical Augment 86 schematic by deconstructing a Critical Augment 86. And maybe it's just me because I'm trying to say all of this stuff, but I think it would be a lot easier to follow if instead of calling them Advanced Augment 86, they just called them a Augment 87 or 88 or something. Just saying. To craft the 83s, you'll need some crafted components which exist in the game already. You'll need solid resource matrices and processed isotope stabilizers, which you will be able to purchase from Jawa vendors on the fleets. The 86s and Advanced 86s require the same materials as the 83s, plus CM-1137s, which use the RPM 13s and OEM 37s. The price for those is going down. They currently cost 4,000 tech fragments, but in 7.6 they will cost 1,800 tech fragments. You will also need a new material that's dropped by the Lair Boss in both Story and Veteran modes. You'll get more of the materials from Veteran mode than you will in Story mode. And that's the gist of it. Like I said, there is a detailed post on the forums with everything you need to know about the new augments. But as you can probably gather, the boss isn't called the XR53 Replicator Droid for nothing, because if you want these augments, you'll need to replicate killing him over and over and over again. Art modernization has been an ongoing effort in recent updates, and it's continuing with Galactic Threads. Tython, Korriban, Ilum, and Hoth are all going to look a whole lot better in a few weeks, especially Tython and Korriban. Ilum looked great already. I posted on social media that I didn't think it was possible to make Ilum look any better, but here we are. You should head over to swotor.com. They have a video with some of the before and after changes. You'll notice the difference, especially with the statues on Korriban and the trees on Tython. If you were thinking about creating a Jedi or Sith, I'd wait until 7.6 so you can experience the updated environments. And environments aren't the only thing changing. Character models are getting updated. That's if you play a human species, which is most of the species in the game, right? We've got human, pale white human, green human, blue human, blind human, spiky human. You get the idea. Anyway, if you play a humanoid species, you're getting a facelift. The actual species effective are human, Chiss, Cyborg, Mary Allen, Miralukin, Ratataki, Zabrak, and Togruta. And here's what Eric Musco had to say about it on the live stream.
Top line goal, because this is super important, was to improve the fidelity of your characters across the game. Sorry, and I should say fidelity of characters, not just yours, but the fidelity of characters across the game while making sure that your character stayed uniquely yours. So the way we did this is we actually attacked it from basically 4 different directions. First up, targeting character textures. I love that you're going to please mime all of this. Okay. Character textures. Ocular specularity, which is the white soul in the eye, and then lighting improvements. And shader improvements, which is skin and hair. Skin and hair.
The best I could do it.
Skin and hair.
Sorry, guys. I know that's not what shader means, but when I think of shade, right?
I'm excited about this, but I'm also a little surprised that they kept this one close to the vest. Character changes are a big deal. The dev team totally understands that, but even if they get it right, there can still be some backlash from players. I remember when World of Warcraft updated their models for the Warlords of Draenor expansion, they announced it in advance to give folks a chance to get ready and used to the idea. And when it was released, they had an option for players to revert to the old models. That option was removed from the game in the next expansion. Now players have jumped on the PTS to check it out, and there is already one known issue, according to Jackie Coe. Thanks for the feedback on the character modernization. I don't have all the info now, but I can confirm there is a bug in the shader change that is adding an unintended amount of contrast increase to character skin. We'll be looking into this further and we'll post more info later, but wanted to pop in and let you all know. The characters they showed on the live stream looked really good, but when I looked at my character on the PTS, he looked closer to my actual age, which is not what I intended when I created him. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. If they don't get the character models looking the way they want, and if players aren't happy with them, then I could see this feature getting delayed. But let's not forget that this is a 13-year-old game. World of Warcraft went through this after 10 years. I think it's necessary and overdue, and I'm really glad they're doing it. Well, if running the XR53 propagator boss over and over leaves you wanting to punch something, I've got good news. PvP Season 7, The Path to Mastery, is starting with Game Update 7.6, and it's going to run for 16 weeks. And there are some changes with PvP. The first one deals with matchmaking and everyone's favorite four-letter word, pre-mates. Starting in 7.6, the maximum number of players you can group with for PvP is 4. So no more queuing in a full 8-man group. And the second thing is set bonuses for the old Spoils of War gear will no longer work in PvP. And here's what Eric Musco had to say about that on the live stream.
It's level 75 set bonuses, so the ones that came in from Spoils of War, so in Onslaught, will no longer work in PvP. And so this might sound like a strange change, but let me explain why we're doing it. So this is kind of meant to target two things. This is either new players that are jumping into PvP under level 80, or a common place where players come back into the game is also under level 80. So that kind of PvP bracket that's under level 80. And what happens is, there's enough people that are parked in that PvP bracket that have kind of twinked themselves by having really good gear and those level 75 set bonuses that are simply just way too powerful.
Like previous PvP seasons, you can earn armors, decorations, titles, and more. The armor sets are a little different this time around. They're covered in feathers, and it's a safe bet that some Orobirds or Rishi, or both, were harmed in the making of these. In fact, I have a pretty good idea where they came from.
I like your little friend there. He sure has taken an interest in me. How cute.
My monkey lizard? Oh, he's just wondering what you must taste like.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he pretty much knows already.
I love the little side conversations you can find all over the game. That one, of course, is on Rishi. PvP Season 7 will run for 16 weeks and launches with Game Update 7.6. When it comes to character names, some are serious and some are silly, and most are taken. If you've ever spent time creating the perfect look for a character, only to find that the perfect name is unavailable, you may be in for some good luck. There is going to be a cleanup of character names on inactive players. Now, if you're a subscriber, you have nothing to worry about here. You can have a character that you haven't touched since launch, and their name will be safe. This affects free-to-play and preferred accounts. According to the official post on this, if you have not logged into a character since January 1st, 2024, that character name will be released into an unreserved pool and can potentially be claimed by another player with 7.6 launch. If you would like to keep your character name, you must log into the game before 7.6 launches. If you want to keep every character name, you must log in with every character before 7.6 launches. And again, if you are an active subscriber at 7.6's launch, all of your character names will be preserved. If you lose your character name, you will be able to rename it at no cost. If you want to try and claim a name that's been released, you can create a new character, or you can purchase a renamed character name consumable, which will be 90% off for the week following the launch of 7.6. There you have it, subscribers. Nothing to see here. Move along, move along. Free to play and preferred account players, if you're worried about losing your names, you should log onto your characters before 7.6 launches. We don't know when Game Update 7.6 is going to go live, but you don't have to wait. A lot of features are available right now on the PTS. This includes the dynamic encounters, the Lair Boss, the augments, and the art modernization. Now, normally what happens on the PTS stays on the PTS, but if you go and test the dynamic encounters and the Lair Boss, there are rewards you can earn for your account in the live game. You can earn some titles for testing the Propagator XR53 Lair Boss, and you can earn titles, mounts, and a mini pet for testing the dynamic encounters. Most of the rewards are older PTS rewards, but the mini pet is brand new. And you should hop onto the PTS, as it's a great opportunity to provide feedback to the dev team when they are in a position to make changes before 7.6 goes live. Well, as you can see, there is a lot happening in 7.6, even with the story delay. It's clear the team is working hard and doing a lot for the game. I just hope it translates into a lot for us to do in the game. Not convinced yet. Still, I love that they're coming up with new tech and challenging themselves to create features that we haven't thought of. I can't wait for 7.6, and I can't wait to see what else they come up with in 2025. Final note before I let you go, huge congratulations to the folks at UtiniCast for releasing their 500th episode. It's good, too. They did an interview with Eric Musco and Keith Koenig. Be sure to check it out. Again, congratulations, guys. And that's the State of the Old Republic for today. Let me cut in the sublight engines and cue the music and congratulate you on surviving another half hour, give or take, listening to episode 129 of the State of the Old Republic podcast. I'm your host, Ted, and I thank you for tuning in. You can find this podcast on Buzzsprout and iTunes, wherever else you find your podcasts, and I'm also back to putting these up on YouTube. You can listen to the show directly from the show site, which is sotorpodcast.com, and there is an RSS feed where you can subscribe to the podcast directly. If you have a question for the show, you can email me at sotorpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much for listening, and remember the Sith code, cake is a lie.